Okay, minasan, konnichiwa, Zamurai Engineer desu. In this video, let us continue our discussion of guide signs and information signs. So, type G1 classification of signs. So, what do we call G1? Starting with this type, advanced direction signs, meaning considering the position of intersection, advanced direction sign must be located before the intersection. So that is called G1 type of signs. So advanced direction signs should be erected in advance of intersection where the arterial road turns. On feeder road intersecting arterial road. Feeder road intersecting arterial road. Okay? Where two arterial road meet or cross, or on arterial road crossing. So there are different types of roads. Probably national road, regional road, provincial road, municipal road, and then barangay roads. In technical terms, when we are talking of civil engineering, we are talking of main roads, then feeder roads, arterial roads. So from bigger roads to the smallest type of roads. Okay, so these are the way we classify different types of roads. It could also be erected in advance of intersection where arterial road may be confused with another road. Okay, we already talked about the shape, color, and the reflectivity of this type of signs. How about format? Two types of advanced direction signs are stack and diagrammatic. It should normally be located at the roadside, but in restricted places in the urban areas, overhead installation will be applicable. Okay, stack sign. A stack sign is the typical normally used. Okay. Such sign lists the destinations together with appropriate directional arrows, and if required, road names and route marker. So those are what we call stack signs. The vertical sequence of panels should be as follows: straight ahead arrow, top of sign, angled arrows above horizontal arrows, and alternate panels to have arrows at opposite ends of the sign. And the direction in which an arrow points should be indicated of the movement ahead. Okay, movement ahead, how the users of the road will move. Okay, and not necessarily representative of the geometric layout. Okay, it only represent movement. Okay, so do not think of it as scaled or design or scaled map. Okay, arrows pointing to the destination should therefore either be vertically upward, horizontal, or upward at 45 degrees to horizontal. Horizontal and angled arrows should always be placed at the nearest side of the panel to which they point. Okay, downward arrows should not be used on stack signs. Okay, so let us take a look at those examples. So we have what? This type of samples. Letter B, diagrammatic direction signs. This type of signs represent a simplified diagram of the intersection layout, G1-4 and G1-5. It should be used at complex intersection and major roundabouts or rotunda for successive closely spaced road junctions or location where a stack sign cannot adequately indicate complex layout. The legend signs on diagrammatic signs should normally be no smaller than that required for stack signs in same situation. This usually results in a signboard much larger than the equivalent stock sign. So stock sign usually is smaller. So these are the example of the stock sign. For example, we have G1-1. As you can see, there are arrows. But arrow down is not used. Okay? So you can see, arrow down is not used. Arrow going to the right, going to the left, and going upward. Or going 45 degrees. Okay? Like in Bataan, going 45-degree arrow. Okay? Pasay City, Alabang, as you can see, this sign is for stock sign, South Super Highway. Pasay City, left, Alabang, right. Okay. So, Monumento, straight ahead, Manila, to the left, Pateros, to the right. So, those are example of stock signs. Okay. What about diagrammatic? So, diagrammatic is this one, G1-4, diagrammatic type. So instead of just having arrows, you have some sort of diagram. But this is still not scale. This is not scale. This only show representative direction. Okay. So Lipa City, straight ahead. San Jose, to the left. And Palanca. This is not to the right, but to the what? 45 degrees going down. So there's no use of arrows going down. Okay. So another type of diagrammatic guide sign, Pasay City, Intramuros, Port Area. This is for rotonda. Okay, for rotonda, where road users are going around about. Okay, in a circular manner. So in our country, we have a roundabout in front of DOST in Bikutan. We have a roundabout. Okay? So there are three possible ways in that roundabout in the DOST and what in Land Bank, in front of DOST and Land Bank. So one of the ways is going up to SM, Bigutan. If you go to the right, that is going to Pasay. And actually you are what? You are approaching the rotonda from, for example, Camp Bagong Diwa or from TCU. You are approaching the rotonda. If you go to the right, that is Pasay, going to Pasay. And if you go straight, that is going to Parañaque. So we also have that case in our city. However, there is no DPWH marking. There is no guide sign that looks like this in that area. Okay, I don't know why. Maybe it is not considered as national road. It is only considered as municipal road. That's why it is national road are the type of roads that DPWH enforce their rules. Okay? And so if the road is municipal, our local government would provide these things. And if our local government officials, like the engineering office, is not aware or not doing their job, they are supposed to put up a guide sign on that area, on the rotonda, like that looks like this. And there were none. They are putting up, our engineering department are putting up what? Christmas light. Christmas. So it is not necessary for us because we are residing in Taguig. We are familiar. What about those first-timer that use the road? Okay, they will get confused. Okay, so that is precisely the reason why we are putting up guide signs and information signs for those first-timers that may use the road in some areas, okay? In those areas, okay? So to avoid what? Incident, accident, and so on. So our engineering department in the city is not it's not doing their job, or it is not part of their work, or actually that is part of their work, because the road is a municipal road. Okay. So we already talk about legend and lettering. So let us move ahead. Location. Location. So somebody use the chat box. Okay, so location. Distance at which advanced direction signs should be located in advance of an intersection varies according to expected speed of approaching vehicles. In rural areas, advanced direction signs should be located at a minimum distance from the intersection as indicated in the following table. Okay, so we have what? 85th percentile speed in kilometers per hour. So if the cars are supposed to travel that road at less than 60 kph, okay, 85th percentile speed. By the way, we are putting on the car speed limits on the signboard, on the road sign, at their 100% percentile, not 85th percentile. We, civil engineers, compute the 85th percentile and decide on what distance from intersection we have to put up the markings, the post or the guide information. So, for example, we are 100%, 100 kilometers per hour. Okay, 100 kilometers per hour. 85th percentile, so about 85. Okay, so 85, if you can look at this table, 85, you have to put your advanced direction sign between 150 to 200 meters before the intersection. Okay, if the road speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour. But for example, in expressway that is about 80 kilometers per hour in South Superhighway. I think in North Luzon Expressway that is 100 kilometers per hour. So 85 is 150 to 200. But in South Superhighway, that is 80 kilometers per hour. What is the 85th percentile? It depends, but you can estimate 85th percentile of 80 kilometers would be about, I think it would be about 60 something or 70, about 70. Okay, so it would be about 70. So 70, where's 70? So 60 to 70. So you have to put up the advanced direction sign 100 meters to 125 meters ahead of the intersection. That is what we meant by that table. So, location. And with that, we are through with G1 classification of guide signs. Let us now go straight to the next type of classification, that is G2. These are what we call intersection direction signs. Okay. Function and application. Intersection direction signs supplement advanced direction signs and should be placed at more important intersection or decision points Okay, so decision points. What are the example? G2-1, G2-2, G2-3, and G2-4. So we have these different examples. Okay. So G2-1 here, G2-2, almost the same, only different direction, and you have an extra information here. So meaning going right 95 kilometers. Okay, 95 kilometers, that is Manila. Okay. Okay, so we have information in there. Okay. So here going left, Batangas. And we have G2-3, Manila, Legazpi is being put up in the intersection. Okay. So wherein going to the left is going to Manila, going to the right is going to Legazpi. Actually, Legazpi is Bicol. Okay. And G2-4, we have what? Intersection, direction signs, North Diversion Road. Okay, Manila, 95 kilometers. Okay, so those are example of intersection direction signs. Okay, so as you can see, those are the real what is standard of direction sign. We have what? Arrows and green background and white letterings on green background. So white letterings on green background with white arrow and what? White boundary line. So those are the standard design layout. Okay. Also, the shape is looking like an arrow. The shape is looking like an arrow. Not exactly rectangle, but there's a corner that looks like an arrow. Okay. Shape of the signboard itself. Okay. Location. Intersection direction signs have to be located within or near the intersection of the site, or they are readily visible to approaching motorists. So that's all for G2 classification of sign. So we are now going directly to the next set of sign, G3 class of signs. We have G3-1, G3-2, reassurance direction signs may be used beyond the intersection to reassure motorists who are traveling towards their intended destinations. As we already discussed, we already explained these things on the introduction. So we have an example of G3-1, Angeles 70, meaning from this point to Angeles is 70 kilometers. Baguio is 156 kilometers from this point. So this is just an assurance because this is posted after the intersection. Another type is G3-2, South Superhighway. Okay, meaning you are in the South Superhighway. And what? San Pablo is 10 kilometers from here, and San Jose is 90 kilometers from here. So those are the important things about the reassurance direction signs. Let's go to the next type of signs, that is G4. That is what we call fingerboard and direction signs for less important roads. Purpose: at the less important intersections away from national highways, special fingerboard type of signs are used to provide direction to towns, scenic attraction, geographical interest, and to other local facilities such as post office, railway station, and aerodromes. These signs are only used on local roads of lesser importance. They shall not be used on national road. Okay, so feather road and the likes, not the national road. National roads are the main roads. Main highways are what we call national roads. Okay. For example, we have an example here. G4-1, G4-2, and G4-3. Going to Legazpi. Take note the lettering and the color. Background color supposed to be green background and white lettering for the standard signs for national highways. But here you have white background and black letterings. Okay, 16 kilometers going to Legazpi City. Pagsanghan Falls going to the right. Okay, so in what? Brown background. Okay, brown background. And okay, so those are the three important types. So now we can proceed to the next series of sign, what we call street name signs. Purpose, street name signs inform road users of the names of roads and streets that they are passing or entering. Location and height. Street name signs should be located on posts as near as practical to the intersection so that they are clearly visible to both pedestrians and drivers alike. In addition to the name of the street, the sign may also carry the house number range for one block. I still have yet to encounter this type of sign which carry house number range for one block. It's being implemented in some areas in Manila. It's being implemented, okay, in some areas in Manila. But in most of the national roads and feeder roads that has intersection with the street, it's not always the case. No? It's not being used. So therefore, the application of rules and regulation in the Philippines is not very widely. So there are municipalities and areas wherein these rules are not being applied or they are not aware of these rules. This is a law. This is a law of the land. This must be followed. But some of the municipalities, particularly those farther away from the NCR, do not follow these things. Even some areas that are near NCR, the neighboring municipalities, do not have those house number range from one block up to the last house number. Where are signs erected in the footway? The height should not be less than 2.2 meters or more than 3 meters measured to the bottom of the sign. Okay, 2.2 meters to 3 meters from the bottom of the sign. Okay, where they are erected in birds or at other location clear of pedestrian ways. Okay, so 2.2 meters. And not more than 3 meters. So 2.2 to 3 meters. Okay. Shape and size must conform to this standard. Okay. The length of the sign should not be less than 500 mm or more than 1.2 meters. So from 500 to 1,200 mm. Okay. And the minimum vertical dimension shall be 200 mm. While signs having only street names should not less than 150. So 150 to 200 and what? 500 to 1,200 mm. Okay. Color, white legend on blue or green background. Okay. Reflectorized lettering and abbreviation could be used. So standard abbreviation, Avenue, AVE, Boulevard, BLVD, Place, PL, Crescent, CRIS, okay? Road, RD, Drive, DR, Street, ST, lane L. So those are the permitted abbreviation. Okay. Other than that, we have to spell out the word. Okay. For example, we have G1 and G2. Example, Bonifacio Drive, okay, Ross Boulevard, Mabini Street, Quezon Avenue, Rodriguez Senior Avenue, or Boulevard rather, Ramon Magsaysay Boulevard, Kalayaan Avenue, Guillermo Avenue, so Taft Avenue. So the number here, Bonifacio Drive, 1 to 350. Those are the house number on that block of the road from 1 to 35 to 350. Those are the house number. Okay. And that is not usually used. That's not usually used in the Philippines. That is the rule. But seldom it is being implemented or applied. Maybe the municipal engineers are not aware of this. Not aware. They are not aware or they are not doing their job. Okay, so let us go to the next set of guide signs, what we call G6 classification, town names, and geographical features. So it is a logical type of guide sign that informs our motorists of geographical interest. Okay? For example, G6-1, Batangas, Mountain Province, G6-2, Laguna de Bay. Okay? So black lettering on white background. Okay? So they are just information of geographical places. Okay? Next set of signs, G7 classification service signs. These are usually posted on the side of the national road. For example, G7-1, service center. Okay. Then G7-2, for example, Weybridge station. Okay. Those are important signs that are posted on the side of national roads. Another set, G7-3. Okay. Okay. And G7-3A. Okay. G7-4.